You know, I try something a little different here. On the left, as you can see, is a Korea era Marine guidebook for the island, as it's called in the Corps, Marine Corps. But, anyways, Paris Island. My father spent his time, not necessarily in the sun and the fun, but hey, he received this when he came back from Korea. He did 2 tours of duty, and I was just saying, United States Marine Airborne 2, based out of Pyeongtaek. He was commander of a unit, had the only 100% non-failure of munitions and armature in combat. The first 2 jet Corsair night fighters of the war, my father's planes. And again, Marines, well, for those that don't know, it's a 13-month tour, not 12. There's some wandering here. He on leave, he would go to Japan. I think it was northern Japan. I fell in love. I'm getting Hokkaido. No, it's one of the island chains. Anyways, Jericho. Because my father's code of honor, his Bushido, he was accepted into a Shinto family. Okay, mother and father. I mean, back then, come on, not long after World War II, they didn't really much appreciate Occidentals, and but again, because of his code of honor, yeah, accepted him to Dayton, and indeed to fall in love with his daughter Tiako. So I would have been half Japanese, anyhow, or was it Oriental, right? Going on here. He came back from Korea. He had such an unblemished, incredible record that he replaced a lieutenant colonel as base adjutant for the base commandant, Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. Pretty cool. Hey, he only had 2 on the rockers. 3 up, 2 down. When I was going into the Corps, I was signed up by a recruiter in Salem. He had been in the Nam. 3 of my uncles were there. And Uncle Mike did 3 tours back when they were called the Advisors. He was exposed to the early defoliants, purple, white, and carrying on here. I'm going to turn this the music on here. Fortune Sun, Creedence Clearwater Revival. I don't know if you can hear that in the background. My Uncle Jim, my mother's brother, he was Special Forces, cryptology unit. He was doing nighttime drops, 70 clicks behind the Chinese border, 70 clicks, 1,000 meters, 1,000 yards. Never killed anybody. After the war, oh, he did 30 years as gym instructor down in Natick. My mother's family's roots in Framingham. Cunningham clan, Northern Ireland. Go figure, right? My father's family, clan Moray. Andrew Moray held a bridge for Wallace at Sterling. It wasn't an nice open field like that Nazi pedophile Mel Gibson. I tagged him, but he's an idiot. He probably knows that. He blamed the alcohol on his behavior. Now, alcohol brings out who you are. He's an idiot, besides being an asshole. Speaking of the, my Uncle George, Brownwater Navy. Guidebook here. A week before I was due to ship out, I was celebrating with a couple of friends of mine. We had a rollover. I went through a windshield, and I was dropped on, back before it was referred to as TBI, on a severe head injury. But they said if I was injured in combat, I could have a seizure. Other men would give their lives trying to save me. Well, I don't think that was the brightest idea in the whole wide world. Well, not the... I call him a dweeb. You see Kurt Russell in Soldier? No, that was Stargate, whatever. Anyhow, I couldn't believe he dropped me. But I was a little worried too. My recruiter was as well when I first, because I remember finishing high school, and when I was going in, a week before I told him, he was like, oh, shoot, he was all worried. Gave me all these books to study in a week, and I slept on them. Like my old technique back in parochial school, Marblehead, Star of the Sea. I was supposed to have been a priest. My Monsignor, I was one of the 3 chosen to go to Mulder Catholic. Well, that didn't work out because the 2 priests, Father Tom, Father Tim. Father Tom gave midnight folk masses during the school week on a Thursday. Pretty cool back then, huh? Father Tim, I asked him a question. Well, how am I going to know about sins if I haven't committed a few? Monsignor passed away at the time, and so he didn't think I was any longer eligible. Point being, got the southern drawl going on right now. But born in Marblehead, but raised south of Mason-Dixon. I worked as a rough framer down south on a all-rep crew. I was the only Yankee. Butchie, I remember one time, it was like, you can't carry no plywood. Well, 3 sheets he carried, I carried 4. I also used to work at the New England Produce Center in Chelsea, 15 years, what they refer to as an unloader, but more colloquial expression was term was lumper. And I broke and set every record I've been there for the 29 years before I was there, and for the 15 after. To this day, I've been gone, I don't know, since 9/11, and the record's still standing. Coldest temperature work, 57 below for 6 hours on the back dock. Lungs sear unprotected, 47 below after 5 minutes. I was in a freight car at 38 degrees, warehouse. I'm going to turn that off for a second. Where am I? Hold it. Hang on. That's it. But anyways, warehouse 55. Docks were 60 below. Weymouth Naval Air Station gave a 57 below with a wind chill that night. 30 companies that did freight cars. I was the only one knucklehead enough to do it. I got an extra $100 for it. Anyhow, hottest temperature was, I think, 138 degrees in a trailer for, takes hour and a half usually for one fella to unload a trailer by hand. It took me 49 minutes. I broke the record. Also broke the record for weight. Schwarzenegger Stallone never lifted 385,000 pounds in a day. I did. 2 freight cars, 140,000 each, 60-foot freight cars, and 85,000 pound cabbage load coming out of North Carolina. Dummy logs, double weighted. It was quite a day. Anyhow, I'm rambling on here. I guess I'm going to leave off on that. Oh, yeah. So when I went through the military testing at the MEPS in South Boston, Southie. Oh, by the way, for a little while there, I was living in East Boston, the Maverick Projects, before they became townhouses. Like I said, born in the East Coast Riviera, Marblehead, working class family, both parents worked. My father gave a speech at Howard University during the heyday of the civil rights, after Martin Luther King had been assassinated. 3 of the original Freedom Riders were attending in the audience. He was one of the gang of 4, back when a gang was a work gang, General Electric. He had spent 25 years as a shop steward, or 23 as a shop steward, 25 years at the conglomerate scumbag corporation of the world, for the most part, just like most American corporations, unfortunately. Bottom line is not ethics and morality. It's dollar bill, economics 101, right? Screw the public, screw the world, screw the children, screw the future that we borrow from. Hell with all that. I'm going on here, talking quite a bit. Let's say this kind of 8, 9 minutes. I don't know. I got to transfer this over to file. YouTube. I'm going on. Yada, yada, blah, blah. What was I talking? Yeah, and he was one of the, Kevin Morrow was president of the union. It was Peter Thiel, Joel Feigenbaum, my father. Twice GE management tried to assassinate my father. First time they cut the brake lines. Nearly lost it. Coming down a hill. Went through a fence into a neighbor's yard. Second time was coming back on the highway with Kathleen Harrington, niece of Michael Harrington, state senator at the time. She got grazed to the shoulder, as I recall. I come back in after it might have been a date. I don't think it was a meeting or rally of any kind. But, and what was I saying? Yeah, 3-minute standing ovation. Harvard Law School, 1,000 people in attendance. I don't know what the actual number was. I was just a young pup at the time. And 3-minute standing ovation. Unbelievable to this day. At least coming from a work class class of people, right? And 3 of Martin Luther King's Freedom Riders were attending the audience, as was related to me later by my sister, Robin Elizabeth. Wow, Shins Bar Marblehead. They're one of the only families in Marblehead that had horse. There were 13 gals up at Shin's Barn and just me. I was 9 years old. They wanted nothing to do with me because I was 2 years young and he used to ride Tammy, my sister. I used to think it was Palomino, quarter horse, bareback with no halter, reins, or bridle, just using her mane, trying to impress him. One time I had her full gallop, came down to the back, far out on the back pasture, and she bucked me a full gallop behind one of the outlying sheds. Came up on one side, I came up, holding my backside on the other. Guess what? The thing about sitting on a pillow, yeah, for about 2 weeks. So I was back in East Boston Produce Center. Yada yada. Oh, the mess when I was tested. My third day. No, it was the first day. I forget. I think it was the first day of testing for the academic 8 hours testing. When I think it was that day or the next or whatever, he called in and he was concerned. He got back the GQ and the GQ and QT totals was 98 per section, 95 overall. I was qualified to for OCS right out of boot camp, but I would have chosen, my father would have recommended, to become a maverick as an officer from enlisted. And so, yada yada, I'm going to let this go right now. You folks take care. And best safe days and nights ahead for everyone all around the world.